Okay, we've made it. Welcome to our Photoshop discussion. All right, to bring up Photoshop, you can take your desktop shortcut, just double click on it, and then wait a moment, and it'll bring up Photoshop. And here it is. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is arranging the Photoshop workspace and then saving it. Much in the same way we did that with Bridge, we can do this with Photoshop. I'm going to show you how I arrange mine and what I have available to work with and what I get rid of because I just don't ever find a use for it. So let's start up here on the right hand side. This color tab here, these are sets of tabs. Here's a set, and here's a set. Occasionally it'll come up. Photoshop has glitches in every computer, whether it's been a Mac or a Windows-based computer that I've worked on. Occasionally it'll come up with that black square. Just go ahead and click back and bring it back forward and you'll find some more information. Alright, anyway, what I usually do for my layout, I'll show it to you. These sets of tabs, you can arrange them, you can move them around just like you did in Bridge. I like them in this more or less fashion, but I don't ever use this color tab, so you can close this tab individually. I personally don't use the swatches, so I can right click here, and I don't use styles back over here either, so I can actually right click and then just close the tab group. Moves up the other tabs, gives more room for me to see later on my layers as I stack them in here. I like this adjustment area here and then the mask area back here, so we'll leave that alone. Let's come down and talk about this. Layers, I want that up. I'm using those all the time. Channels, I use those somewhat frequently. Paths, I never use. So I'm going to right click and close paths. Now there's a few other things that I do like to use, and I'd like to have them on this tab down here. So how do I get them? Well, if we come over here to Window, click on it. These are all of the potential tabs that you can have over here. I like to have actions. I will use those from time to time, so I'm going to click on actions. History comes up automatically with that. That's wonderful. I'm going to take both of these and drag them over here. There's the action, and then there's history. Okay. So this is how I like to arrange this side of my workspace. Over here are a set of tools that we will be using. This little arrow right up here. Alright, these little two arrows point to the right. If you click on them, it will arrange your tools palette like this. I prefer providing as much room as possible for my image and workspace, for my images, so I like to go ahead and drop it down, have my tool palette run down like this, largest possible area for my images. Now that I've taken the time to arrange this workspace, I'd like to go ahead and save this off so that I can return to it. You'll notice in here there's a variety of workspaces. Basic, this is the Essentials workspace we've been working on. So let's show you how to save this off. Go to Window, Workspace. We'll come down here to Save Workspace, and we'll just call this My Workspace. And it's basically panel locations. I do not change anything else around. So I'm going to click Save, and now it's My Workspace. Notice I have something up here that says My Workspace. For some reason I wanted to go back to the Essentials workspace. Click on the drop down arrow, go to the Essentials workspace, but we'll just stay with My Workspace for now. Okay, maybe down the road you find a new workspace and you're like me, you just hate clutter and you want to eliminate this old workspace. It's not immediately apparent how to do this, so I'll walk you through the steps. We have this checked right now, and it would seem that if you came down here to delete workspace, it would delete the workspace that was checked. It doesn't work that way. So let's cancel that. I want to delete my workspace, so I choose the workspace above it. Then I come down again, click on delete workspace, and now for some reason it has selected my workspace. Again, only the Photoshop gods at Adobe know why it works this way. I'm not sure. So now I can click delete. Yes, I want to delete my workspace. And now we can come up here and see it's gone. I have the essentials, or back to my workspace that I normally use. So that's how you create and arrange your workspace to suit your individual taste. The next thing that inquiring minds may want to know about is how do you get an image into Photoshop, into this area here, so I can work with it, or you can work with it. File, if you come up to File, go down here to Open, and now you can browse your computer, your folders. For now, we're going to go into my desktop since we've been working with a particular folder on my desktop here. Let's go into this Photoshop folder, and notice it looks like I can bring my camera raw images in, my DNG, my raw DNG images in. Hey, look, there's a JPEG image. It'll basically take all of the types of files that it will bring in, that it has the ability to bring in, and show them to you. So let's just take a DNG one here, a random DNG image. Let's click Open. The first thing it's going to do is bring up Adobe Camera Raw, because that is a raw image. Photoshop works with image files. We have to convert this from a raw image into an image file before Photoshop can do anything with it. Here's where we do that. If we've made adjustments, looks like we've got some on here. When we click Open, it'll apply all the adjustments that we previously did that are saved. It'll apply them and open right up in Photoshop. So let's click Open Image. And it's now applying those images and converting it from a raw file to an image file, and there it is. So that is a useful way to get an image into Photoshop. Let's go ahead and kill it now. Don't save. Now I normally am looking through my images in Bridge, so we'll call up Bridge and show you my normal procedure. So normally I might be perusing through here. Oh, you know what? I know I have this filter over here. Let's look for that Photoshop document I was working on. I save all of my master files. We'll talk a lot about master files as PSD files. Hey, here's an image file. Let's click on that. There it is. Yeah, that's the one I want. If we just simply double click right here on its little thumbnail, it will open up in Photoshop. There it is. Okay, let's see what kind of layers we have going on here. Ah, interesting. So now we've shown you ways to get images here into Photoshop and how to arrange the workspace. All right, we'll see you next time.